2020. First day of spring, which I'm very excited about. I love spring. I despise winter more than I love spring, although I do love spring. But so glad that the cold is going away and it's warming up a little bit. Things are starting to turn green, which is of course fantastic. Anyway, hope you're doing well. As with everyone else, probably working from home, getting some things done, trying to stay safe in this little bit of a crazy environment that we're in. And so today we are going to be talking all about tracking and not only just building a great site and getting people to fill out the form and the phone is ringing, all of those things that we definitely want to happen, but also making sure that you're tracking what is happening so that over time you can see that it's improving. I think that's pretty darn important. So that you know if your marketing dollars are going to the right place, if you're putting a bunch of money into pay-per-click, is it working? Is it costing you, for every dollar you put in, you make $1.25, or you make $5, or you make 10? Do you know what those numbers are? So it's not just about building the stuff and putting it out there on the internet, but making sure it's working and tracking that. And plugging some leaks, if you will, that are also on your website, probably that maybe you're not tracking. And the most famous, if you will, leak in the web design world is a phone number on a website. If you just have your regular office line or your cell or whatever it happens to be on your website, and somebody picks up that number, sees your website, picks up the phone, calls that number, you can ask them, how did they find out about you? But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to tell you the right thing, right? They might say, well, I Googled you. What does that mean? Does that mean they found you through a Google search to your website? Did they click on your Google My Business profile and never see your website? So there are some leaks out there that you need to fix. And we're going to talk a little bit about those today. As we get going. And, the most important thing here really is just tracking those so that you can look at them. And then as you track them month over month, see what's going on. Okay, our leads are down by 3 on average. This page is not converting very well. All that kind of stuff. We're not getting as many phone calls. Not as many people are filling out the form, all that stuff. So that's what we're going to be going through a little bit today. Not terribly in depth. It is Friday. We got a lot going on. We don't necessarily want to be thinking today, right? So I'm going to see if I can't share my screen here. And hopefully you guys will be able to see that here in a minute. There we go. I'm going to put myself down here. So, all right. So, couple things I want to do. First of all, if you've seen some of my recent Facebook Lives, this is one of our template sites that we have that you can purchase at a discount, halfway built already. You just got to put your content in there and we publish it, and that can be done fairly quickly. So this is called T1, or template number 1 for us. And we're going to be working on this site a little bit today, just for so you guys have some sort of an example or reference to go from. So the first thing I want to do is set up my analytics in here. If you haven't already done so, I highly recommend you do that. And what you would do is you would go to analytics.google.com, sign up. I'm already signed up, so I'm past that process, but you would sign up, use your Google name, and then you'd get to this point where you would create a property. So you get something that looks like this. And is it for a website? Is it for an app? Is it for both? Well, we're gonna build a Google Analytics profile specifically for the website. So I'm gonna hit web. I'm going to give it a name. We're gonna call this T1. And then we're gonna give it the URL, which is T1, WP Marketing Pros. Industry, we're going to go with business. No, we're not going to go with business. We're going to go with, is there a marketing? No marketing. Let's go with internet. That sounds great, right? And I am GMT -5, create. All right, so it creates the what we call the property for us, and then it gives us this code. So I'm going to copy this code, and then I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to go to the back end of my website. This is going to be different for every website depending on what theme you're using, what program you're using. But in this case, for us, we're going to go up here to Theme Options, Advanced, and then Custom JavaScript. And right here is where I plug that code in. So I'll hit Save. All right, that's it. So now we're tracking. We're tracking this website. Anybody that sees this website or visits it, the system will track that person, let me know more about anything that happens on this site. So the second thing that that we want to do is start to add some tracking to a couple different things. So again, on this particular website, on our contact us page, we're using Gravity Forms, which is a plugin that builds forms for you. You can use a bunch of different ones. Happy Forms. There's Wufoo, who's fairly well known. Ninja Forms is another one. We're a Gravity Forms fan here, but most of those, any of those will work for you just fine. So, so if somebody fills out this form, we want to track that in analytics so that we know how many people filled out the form. And even more interesting or important is if instead of a contact us form, we had a set an appointment form, which is probably what a lot of you have. So set an appointment, you want to copy or you want to track how many people are setting appointments online. So one way that you can do that is use Gravity Forms or whatever it is. And then, so the next thing we need to do is in the back end of the website, we need to create a new page. And that new page is going to be our thank you page. So I'm just going to make it really simple. Thank you for contacting us. And down here, we'll have some blah, blah, blahs. Thank you for contacting us. We really appreciate it. Maybe here's our Facebook page to keep track of us, to be our fan. Here's our Instagram, that kind of stuff, right? Put some information down there. So then here's our thank you page. I'm just going to go ahead and publish that. I'd probably put a little bit more time into it, quite honestly. But for purposes of today, you'll get the idea. All right. So the next thing we need to do is go edit our form so that when somebody fills out the form, they are sent to the thank you page, right? So currently, when they fill out the form, a message just pops up on that same contact us page that says, thanks for filling out the form, right? We want to change that. So the way that you change that is in this particular software, and most of them are pretty similar, is under confirmations. Then instead of the default, we're going to choose a page, and that page, of course, is our thank you for contacting us page. Save. So now I have this page on my site that is t1.wtmarketingpros.com/thanks for contacting us, right? The only way anybody is ever going to find that page on my website is by filling out this form. There's no other way to get there. It's not linked anywhere. It's nothing else is going on. So the only way they're going to get there is by visiting that page. So what I'm going to do is grab the link for that page. I'm going to go to all pages, and then I'm going to go to contact us. I'm going to look at that page, which of course is pretty boring. Oh, it wasn't contact us. It was thank you. So look at our thank you page, which of course is pretty boring because I didn't fill it out. Thanks for contacting us, blah, blah. All right. I'm going to copy that link. Right? And then I'm going to go back over to analytics and let's see. In here, we're going to go to the bottom left, which is administration. And then in the third column, goals, I'm going to build a goal. Okay. And the goal is to get people to my thank you page. New goal. What kind of goal is this? Well, this is let's call it a contact us goal. Continue. I'm going to name it contact us, or you can name it set appointment or whatever it happens to be. The goal here is a destination. In other words, a specific page on my site. So I'm going to hit continue. And then we're going to say a goal that equals, and then I'm going to paste in the URL to that page. And then I'm going to put no value, no funnel. I'm not worried too much about that stuff right now. But anybody who now visits a URL on my site that equals this will get basically a 1 in the win column, I guess you could call it, or a checkbox or something like that. So that's it. Now, every time somebody fills out my form, this will show up as a goal achieved in here. Okay. So that's for your form on your website. The second thing that we wanted to cover was the phone situation, right? So currently our phone number on our website is the same one that goes to the cell, same one that goes to the office. What I like to use is a service called CallRail, and it's callrail.com. And this is the back end of their service. And let me turn this off. So what it does is it shows you across all the different places that you have a phone number, who called, when did they call, where did they call from, right? And it gives you a phone number that specifically goes on that property, and in this case, your website. So you get a special phone number that only goes on the website, and then you copy that number. You would add that to probably your header. See, we've got the wrong number up here. We would add that to our header, and then anybody that calls that number, it's just going to immediately forward to our office, right? But CallRail is going to see that somebody called that number, and they're going to put it on their cute little graph here. They're going to give you information about who that caller was, where they called from, how long the call was, whether it was answered, whether it was abandoned, meaning they hung up, if it went to voicemail, what happened to it. So very important to have this special call tracking number on your website. We do this for all of our clients so that they can see what phone calls are coming in, and we can track them backwards. So then what we would do from an analytics standpoint, again, we want to track those phone calls, how many people are calling from that end. So again, we're going to go to new goal, and this is going to be a little bit specific to CallRail, but you get the idea here. I'm going to say contact us again, and we're going to say phone call. And in this case, it's an event. So it's not a destination, it's an event. So I'm going to hit continue, and category equals phone. And this is information that CallRail gives you to set it up. So if you're using a different system than CallRail, they would have a different way of going about helping you set this up. But for this one, this is how you do it. I'm going to hit save. And now every time somebody calls us, that's going to show up in my analytics as a goal achieved. So I'm going to show you this, although it's going to be empty. On the left in analytics, under conversions, there's now a section called goals, overview. And of course, I'm going to have all zeros because I just set it up, right? But over time, you'll start to get a graph of all your phone calls, of all the appointment sets, of all the contact us forms that were filled out. And you can start to see what's going on with this. What's really cool is then you can go back and compare that to previous months and see if you're up or down, what's going on with your site, if it's gaining momentum, losing momentum, anything of that sort. So very important to have these tracking pieces in place. Not a lot of people use them, talk about them, but certainly an important part of the overall health of your business. The last thing I want to show you, and I don't have it all the way built out yet, but there's a service called Cyfe, and it's cyfe.com. Cyfe lets you build dashboards, really cool dashboards where you can pull data from all kinds of different locations. So when you're in analytics, and you're looking at your overview, well, you've got some data here. Obviously, mine are zeros because I just set it up, but you have different pieces. Let me switch to something else here. Go to Window Treatment Marketing Pros. So at least we got some data, right? So we got some data. We got some people visiting the site this week, which is great. I can pull this particular information into Sife, and I can build that as one of my dashboards. And I'll log into it in a minute here and show you. But then let's say I'm also interested in what pages most people are visiting. So in analytics, I have to go to behavior, site content, all pages, and see what are my top pages that people are looking at, right? But wouldn't it be nice not to have to bounce all over the place and just have those on one screen? So with Sife, you can do that. And this is something that we're also setting up for every one of our customers. And I'll show you what it looks like, although bear with me, it's not filled out yet, right? So now I can pull in analytics visitors. Down here, I can pull in analytics top 10 pages. Over here, I can pull in ActiveCampaign, which is my email newsletter. I can see how many people signed up, how many people unsubscribed, is it growing or not. Here's my reviews for my business. Are they growing? Do I get any new ones? My Facebook page, how much interaction is it getting? LinkedIn, Twitter, there's all kinds of stuff that you can add. If I go to add widget, there are all kinds of things that I can add to this. If I'm running pay-per-click, here's my call rail. If I'm running AdWords, I can track that. But it's really nice to be able to have all of your key performance indicators or KPIs on one screen where you can, look at them quick and see what's going on. And then you can even do a comparison of the previous 30 days. You can change this to weekly, to monthly. You can do comparisons. There's a couple pretty cool things you can do here with this. So really cool service. I love it. They do have a free sign up for Sife. That's CYFE. They have a free sign up, but I think you only get 3 of these little widgets. After that, you have to pay. And I want to say $29 a month or something like that. But then you can build as many dashboards as you want. And you can even build multiple dashboards. So in my case, I'm going to use it for different clients. But you could build, if you have an e-commerce store, you could build one for your e-commerce data, build a separate one for your website. So there's some really cool stuff you could do with this little tool. So couple different things that I wanted to kind of cover today around tracking, and hopefully that gives you some ideas, some things that you can implement before the weekend gets here or over the weekend or something like that. I do want to thank you again for being in our private Facebook group. I certainly appreciate that. The only people that are seeing this are the people in the private Facebook group, which is specific to you. And I definitely appreciate you jumping on. And hope you have a great weekend. Stay safe out there. If you have any questions about this or anything else that I've ever covered, please post those into the group and I will answer them on there. That way everybody can see the answer. Everybody can learn from it. And I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. Talk to you guys later. See ya.